We have the power. We decide what's hot. If we don't go, nobody goes. If we don't support, nobody supports.
Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul, is now facing a harsh reality that could break even the toughest person. Recently, his emotional reaction to receiving a life sentence has gone viral, leaving fans and followers stunned. What does this mean for the legacy of one of music's most influential icons? In this video, we'll explore Diddy's shocking reaction to a life sentence, Diddy's arrest. In November 2023, the entertainment world was shocked by one of the most important human trafficking cases ever revealed. Cassie Ventura, who had once been in a relationship with music mogul Diddy, made serious claims against him. She said that Diddy had been involved in human trafficking and sexual assault. These revelations started a chain of events, uncovering a troubling set of problems that no one expected. Since then, Diddy and his legal team have been working hard to handle the situation, but things have not been going as smoothly as they hoped. Despite their efforts, the controversy keeps growing, and the public's focus remains strongly on the case. On the night of September 16, 2024, music boss Sean P. Diddy Combs found himself in jail at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City. His arrest came after a grand jury brought serious charges, marking a big turn in a case that had been developing for months. The charges came from a raid on his fancy mansion earlier in the year, an event that first brought the shocking claims against him to the public. When the accusations against Diddy came out in 2023, many people thought they would be quickly dropped, mostly because of his great power and control over the music business. However, as time went on, more and more victims came forward, which only added to the case and turned it into a full federal investigation. The rap boss now faces a 3-count charge, which includes accusations of racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking with the plan to engage in prostitution. But these charges are just the beginning of the investigation. Underneath the surface, there were serious charges including kidnapping, arson, bribery, forced labor, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes. What initially seemed like a case of sexual abuse turned out to be much more. According to William S. Walker, the Homeland Security Special Agent overseeing the investigation, he stated, "Today, we break down any false belief that someone is above the law, as we expose the defendant's alleged history of manipulation, exploitation, and brutal mistreatment. Let there be no mistake. We are here today only because of the incredible strength of the victims and witnesses who have already endured unimaginable suffering. I commend their bravery." Although Diddy has not been officially convicted, the agent's statement suggests that overwhelming evidence has been uncovered against the music mogul, and it seems inevitable that justice will be served soon. The legal battle against him began thanks to the bold actions of Cassie Ventura and Lil Rod, who, despite facing threats to their careers, bravely filed lawsuits. Since these allegations came to light, more victims have found the courage to speak up about their own experiences. This could be a crucial step toward revealing the darker secrets hidden within the industry. Could these charges bring an end to Diddy's empire, or is there still a chance for his legal team to turn things around? What strategies will his defense team use to fight against the overwhelming evidence? Let's explore the tactics his lawyers are getting ready for in this intense legal battle. Diddy's lawyers attempt to save him. Diddy's legal team is being led by Mark Agnifilo, a lawyer who has been working hard to secure an innocent decision for his client. However, his efforts have raised some questions about how effective they are. One of Agnifilo's main points in Diddy's defense is that the government is targeting him just because he is a successful black businessman. The charges against Diddy go back to 2008, meaning he's been accused of crimes over 15 years, during which he allegedly got away with them. Agnifilo argues that ever since Diddy started building his business and achieving success, the government has been trying to find ways to bring him down, but hasn't succeeded. According to Agnifilo, Diddy has always paid his taxes, helped his community, and followed the law. But when the authorities couldn't find anything wrong with his business dealings, they started focusing on his personal life. In a documentary shown by TMZ called TMZ Presents: The Downfall of Diddy, Agnifilo said that the government's case is an attempt to bring down a successful black man. He argued that Diddy is being unfairly picked out. The legal team is getting ready to present their case in front of a district court judge. Interestingly, this defense strategy is similar to the arguments made by supporters of R. Kelly when he was accused of trafficking and sexual abuse. R. Kelly's fans said he was being targeted just because of his race. However, despite those claims of innocence, R. Kelly was convicted based on strong evidence and sentenced to 30 years in prison. His supporters continued to defend him, even as shocking details came to light, including the testimony from his daughter, who accused him of abusing her during her childhood. This testimony was a key moment in the case, and since then, discussions about R. Kelly's race have faded. Now, in Diddy's case, his lawyer is also trying to use race as a defense strategy, saying that if Diddy weren't a celebrity, the government wouldn't be so involved in his private life. Agnifilo has pointed to the ongoing investigation into Diddy's encounters, which he says were all agreed upon. He argued that these were just adults engaging in consensual activities, and that society should not be too quick to judge. He further said that the fact that some of those involved, including Diddy, needed medical help afterward because of the drugs they took and the intensity of the activities should not be held against them. However, it's important to note that many of the women involved in this case were allegedly given drinks with them without their consent. Some who did use were forced into doing so. Given the details of their complaints, it seems that many of them had little or no choice in the matter. In Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, she describes how her relationship with Diddy began under troubling circumstances. She says he tricked her into attending a yacht party by telling her she was invited to perform at an event. Once there, things took a disturbing turn. Diddy offered her pills, which she later learned were ecstasy. Feeling unable to refuse, especially since it came from her boss and she was stuck on a yacht in the middle of the ocean, Cassie took them. But that wasn't all. Diddy made sure she stayed high throughout the entire weekend. During this time, when she was no longer in control of her faculties, he took advantage of her. As their relationship continued, Cassie claims that Diddy went even further. She says there were times when he would bring male prostitutes to engage with her, and he would record these encounters without her consent. Cassie was made to participate in these acts while under the influence, and when she was sober, Diddy would randomly show her the recordings to remind her that he held power over her. Amidst all of this, Cassie claims she had to receive IV drips to recover after these degrading encounters. She says that the world witnessed her needing these treatments, which were linked to the strenuous and unhealthy activities Diddy made her endure. This claim lines up with what Diddy's lawyer, Agnifilo, has argued. Diddy needed IV transfusions after. Agnifilo, however, argues that the government is overstepping by focusing on Diddy's personal life, claiming that what Diddy does in the privacy of his bedroom is nobody's business. He suggests that the accusations of freak-offs are simply modern-day interpretations of what used to be called threesomes back in the 70s. The lawyer is saying that the prosecutor is unfairly portraying Diddy as a villain, making him seem much worse than he is. In the same documentary, Agnifilo also mentioned that the accusations against Diddy began because of his relationship with Cassie Ventura, which became messy due to both of them cheating on each other. When asked about the video of Diddy allegedly hitting Cassie, who claimed in her lawsuit that he physically hurt her, Agnifilo argued that both of them had issues in their relationship because they both cheated. Essentially, he suggests that the physical abuse Cassie experienced from Diddy was a result of their unhealthy, abusive relationship, implying that it was somehow bound to happen. Agnifilo also seems to be planning to fight Cassie's claims by bringing up her use while she was with Diddy, probably trying to suggest that her testimony might not be trustworthy because she wasn't sober throughout the relationship. However, Agnifilo's argument seems inconsistent. He's saying that Diddy is being wrongly portrayed as a monster, while at the same time, he's trying to downplay Cassie's experience by focusing on her alleged cheating. But when we look at Cassie's lawsuit, she describes an incident in March 2016 in a hotel lobby. She says that she was trying to leave when a violent argument happened, and just as she was about to escape, Diddy caught her, kicked her several times in the ribs, and dragged her back to the room while he was only wearing a towel. Agnifilo also claimed to have spoken with about 12 men who were supposedly involved in encounters with Cassie and Diddy. He says he asked them if anyone seemed uncomfortable with the situation, and they all denied it, saying that everyone was willing and no one was too drunk or high to participate. It seems like Agnifilo is trying to turn the case into a fight between Cassie's version of events and the testimonies of men who were supposedly paid by Diddy to have her when she was under the influence. But this could be a tough angle to take, especially since both Cassie and another person, Lil Rod, have matching testimonies in their lawsuits. They both claim that Diddy paid them to have sex with them while they were high, which raises concerns for the defense. If Diddy loses this case, the results could be disastrous for him, as it could permanently damage his reputation and career. But how does this get reduced to an act of revenge for Cassie's cheating? Let's find out. Diddy current steps. Since Diddy was arrested in September, he has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, a prison known for housing well-known inmates like R. Kelly and Sam Bankman-Fried, the billionaire convicted of financial fraud. Despite its reputation for containing famous criminals, MDC is far from a normal federal prison. According to reports, the facility suffers from poor air circulation, which causes inmates to experience extreme weather conditions. In the winter, it gets unbearably cold, and in the summer, it becomes extremely hot. This constant change between very hot and very cold temperatures is likely to stir up strong emotions among the prisoners, with anger being one of the most common. Unfortunately, this frustration often leads to violence, and the inmates tend to take it out on each other. For years, judges have been hesitant about sending criminals to this particular facility. With a population of around 1,200 inmates, the overcrowded conditions and lack of basic comforts make it only a matter of time before the prisoners' anger starts to affect the prison staff too. Besides the uncomfortable temperature changes, another major complaint is the food. The meals are plain and lack nutritional value, making it hard for anyone, including Diddy, to adjust. Diddy, like all other inmates, is served basic meals that are far from fancy. Every morning, he gets cereal, fruit, and a breakfast cake. On Sundays, he's given oatmeal and toast, and on weekends, he can enjoy a cup of coffee. Lunch is served by 11 a.m., and it usually consists of hamburgers, baked fish, or beef tacos. On weekends, he's treated to scrambled eggs and biscuits, which, for a prison, is a somewhat varied menu. Dinner is served after the 4 p.m. head count, with options like pasta, fajitas, and roasted chicken. If he prefers a vegetarian option, he can choose lentils and tofu. The prison claims that it serves healthy meals, and while the food may be balanced, it's far from a luxurious dining experience. Despite these tough conditions, Diddy's lawyer insists that the rap mogul is being treated the same as all the other detainees while he waits for his trial. However, Diddy is being housed in a special section of the prison reserved for well-known inmates, and he shares a cell with Sam Bankman-Fried. It's unclear what other special treatment Diddy might be expecting, especially since the food isn't up to his standards. But he does have the option to buy items from the commissary, using funds deposited by family and friends into his prison account. This allows him to make purchases to improve his experience. Much of the talk about Diddy's treatment seems to stem from the fact that 2 federal judges denied him bail, which has added to the perception of unfair treatment. However, for now, Diddy seems to be enduring the same conditions as the other inmates, despite his high status. Diddy's bail denial. After Diddy was arrested on September 16, 2024, his lawyer filed a request for him to be released on bail while they awaited trial. They proposed a bail amount of $50 million, much higher than the original $2 million set for his release. However, the court quickly rejected the offer. Undeterred, they tried again on September 18, 2024, but U.S. District Judge Andrew Carter Jr. also denied the second request. The judge explained that the prosecutors had presented strong reasons why Diddy should not be granted bail. They argued that, if released, Diddy might intimidate witnesses or even attempt to flee. Prosecutors feared that witnesses would be too scared to come forward or might be afraid to go about their daily lives if Diddy were allowed back on the streets. In cases like this, witness intimidation can severely disrupt the legal process